12 minutes past 8. Potholes now.
Yeah, feels like a long time since we had that really severe weather which created potholes in roads up and down Britain. Last year's frost and snow, though, still taking their toll.
There's a new survey out today suggesting it could take up to 11 years to clear the backlog of repairs needed in England alone. Mark Worthington has the details.
The race is on to patch up the potholes. In the last year, they're thought to have cost local authorities in England and Wales £90 million. And even after a mild winter, there's a backlog on a huge scale.
It is a dream that we are going to get rid of all of them, but I can assure you we're trying our utmost best, and I think we're winning the fight.
It's still a bumpy ride for drivers. As quickly as they can be filled in, more holes are appearing. The local government association says councils are chasing their tails trying to keep up. In Leicester, they've fixed 4,000 potholes since last May, and the city's leaders say they can't do it alone.
I predict we'll see roads in crisis condition across the country because of those winters, because of hot summers. The government needs to act now. These cuts in local government budgets when it comes to roads maintenance are a real false economy.
Campaigners for government action say what's causing the problem is far from superficial, and that roads are crumbling because for years they've been given first aid, when what they really need is surgery. The Department for Transport says the amount of money councils get to look after their roads is increasing over the next few years. But it also accepts that there's an ongoing need for road maintenance that can't be fixed overnight. In the meantime, councils across the country are smoothing over the problem as best they can. Mark Worthington, BBC News, Leicester.
Well, joining us now to discuss the problem of the pothole is motoring journalists McCarthy and Shona Johnstone from the Local Government Association. Welcome to you both. Thank you very much for coming in. Let's start first with the councils. Loads of people writing into us this morning. Why are you patching up instead of repairing?
Bluntly, we haven't got sufficient money to be able to do the preventive maintenance that we would really like to do as councils. So we're constantly chasing our tails, trying to play catch up. We, I think, are doing quite a good job. We repair a pothole on average every 18 seconds. That's, you know, a pretty good record. And we're becoming more efficient. We're 25% cheaper in repairing potholes than we have been in the past. But we've got £10 billion shortfall in what we need to do to repair our roads properly.
Maria, they're on average, then one every 18 seconds is getting fixed, but there's an 11-year backlog.
There is. I mean, it is a big problem. It's a problem for motorists. It's a problem particularly for cyclists and motorcyclists, who'd be like, you know, thrown off their path by a pothole, you know, perhaps into oncoming traffic. It's really quite scary and quite a serious situation.
But you were telling us earlier on today that you actually spend more money doing the patch-up job than you do the major surgery.
Yes, that's right. Apparently it costs 20 times more to do the patch-ups than if you had the money up front, and then you can actually spend it on, you know, tarmacking the roads and repairing them properly.
Is anyone saying to central government, look, this is what we need, this is the damage that's being done, this is what we need, so why don't you have one uniform approach to get all the roads done?
Councils have been asking government for many years. This is not something that's happened in the last 2 or 3 years. This has been decades of underfunding. And we are very fortunate that the government gave us £200 million for the severe winter damage that we had for the last few years. But again, that's just really a drop in the ocean. It's not enough. And while we're having to do the reactive stuff, we can't afford the upfront investment that we need to do that will stop us having to do the reactive stuff in future years.
Maria McCarthy, is it any worse here than it is in other parts of Europe?
Yes, it is. Partly because of underfunding, partly because our roads are busier, so they get more traffic, more wear and tear than in other parts of Europe. And also the fact we've got this freeze-thaw thing going on where what happens is water goes into a pothole and it freezes and expands. It makes the pothole bigger and that process repeats because, you know, we have snow, then mild, snow, then mild. Yeah. And so we end up with these big craters in the road.
We've had a lot of emails and messages from people this morning saying they drove their car into a pothole, damaged their wheel, took the photograph, got the AA report, sent it to the local council and they wouldn't pay. Why is that?
That's up to individual councils. I can't comment on specific cases, but what we would say is that we know that claims have been increasing over the years. And
is it because there are so many more claims? Is that the reason why councils are getting more defensive about it, if you like?
I wouldn't say that councils are being defensive, but we clearly need to protect our interests. And, you know, councils are only funded through taxpayers' money. So more claims mean more money on the taxpayer.
Right. You're both saying, Maria and Shona, we need the money up front. to perform major surgery on all our roads.
Yes.
It's not going to happen, is it? I mean, with budgets so tight, when central government is looking at its resources, it's not going to say, here's a few more billion for the roads, or is it?
That's absolutely correct. We know that government's not going to be able to give us that £10 billion that we need. That's why councils are being more efficient and effective in the way that they're actually spending their money. That's why it's now 25% less to repair a pothole than it was 12, 18 months ago. We're looking at better techniques. For example, using a jet patcher machine, which is far more effective, and more councils are rolling that out. So councils are constantly looking at better ways, more efficient ways of actually fixing potholes.
All right, Shona, thanks very much.
Thank
and
you.
Maria, thank you
Thank
to you as
you.
well. Thank you both.